na 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 na. Na 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 na. Sunshine on the beach with my back out in a two-piece, make a nigga go. Start blinking, make the city go black out. Walk with a limp, hip.
I can't be the only one who hears you. Tears falling down at the party. Saddest little baby in the room. Fears, tell me fears, don't get me started.
I crocheted this. Does it crochet? Does it crochet?
When I popped off, then you go gave me.
I added the little tail to the crochet bow bag, and it's removable. It doesn't affect the pattern, so if you're doing the crochet bow bag right now, it would just be added on. So should I add it to the pattern?
I saw a picture of a bow like this online, thought it was so cute, but then found out that it was made by a fast fashion retailer. If you're new around here, you should know that crochet machines don't exist. So every time you see something crocheted, every single stitch was done by hand. So I really don't like to buy crochet if I don't know who made it. So I decided to make it myself. I figured out that this stitch is called the cluster stitch. It's super easy and fun to do. So I made a free tutorial for this bow on the Material Girls YouTube channel.
Change your mind. More than a pet, you're my best friend. Too cool to forget. Come back, cause we are family. And forgive me for making you.
Maybe I was just crazy. Maybe it was the 60s. Or maybe I was just a girl. And trapped.
Let's crochet this adorable bow that I saw on Pinterest together. I started by chaining 8 and then doing 6 double crochets across. And then I went around the whole thing with single crochets. Just make it as long as you want the tails to be that hang down. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the ribbon part up top. It's the same 8 chains, 6 double crochets all the way around with single crochets to add a little border. And then I'm going to secure them with a piece of yarn to make it this cute little bow shape. You can also make another third piece that's just single crochets to fit around. You'll see it there. And then I just sewed in using the end. And yeah, that's it. I totally made this all up, but this final product was great. So there we go.
A magic ring, but don't close it. Next, chain 4. Then make 4 triple crochet into the magic ring. After that, chain 4 again and slip stitch into the magic ring. Now the first part of the bow is complete. To make the first tail, chain 8. Start from the 4 chain from the hook. Make 1 double crochet and 1 half crochet and 3 single crochet. Slip stitch into the magic ring to attach the tail. Repeat the same steps to make the second tail. For the other half of the bow, repeat the other steps. Once all parts are complete, pull the magic ring tightly close it. Cut the yarn and leave a long tail. Wrap the yarn tightly around the center of the bow to shape it. And that's it, your tiny crochet bow is ready.
Can we talk about that stitch? It is so freaking cute. I love it. The pattern is no longer available on Etsy because of obvious reasons we all know if you're a crocheter. But I am just so proud of him. He is just the cutest little thing. And then on top of that, I might be addicted to legging frocks. I have an addiction. I love legging frocks.
So this is the back of the bowl bag. It's just one long rectangle. For more detailed instruction, I have it in my pattern and tutorial.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Just don't put her away. This is so cute. What did you think it was gonna be before? Oh, I knew it was gonna be crochet. Yeah. I didn't know what. And I felt this. And then I felt this, and I was like, that's the fan. And I was like, that's the peg. And I was like, this is the flute. This is amazing. I'm so glad that you love it. It's so heavy. It was like...
Using our leftover fluffy yarn to make a new plushie, starting with the legs, struggling before I even start, color changing and starting the body. Onto the head. So much color changing for the spots. Stuff, making the ears and other attachments. Sewing everything together. So happy with how this little Neapolitan cow turned out.
A lot of people want to crochet my fluffy teddy bear but are very hesitant with crocheting with fluffy yarn. Let me show you why you should not be afraid and how it's not that complicated. So first, let me show you what you need. So chunky yarn, like right here, you see it's pretty chunky. I use Parfait Chunky right here from Premiere, and a thin fluffy yarn. So the fluffy yarn has to be thinner than the chunky yarn. And by choosing a chunky yarn that is thicker than the fluffy yarn, you will still be able to see the stitches. You see 1, 2, 3, and it will make it very easy for you to crochet it. So you have to trust me on that.
Sometimes we want a fluffy plushie, but we don't have fluffy yarn. If that's the case, place your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, and draw up a loop. You can go from fluffy to shaggy by making your loop as big or as small as you like. Then hold that loop with your thumb, remove your hook, and place it into the front loop of the same stitch, yarn over, draw up a new loop, and then yarn over and draw through both of the loops. Now your loop is locked in, so make as many fluffy plushies as you'd like.
I can only see your face when I close my eyes. Can't get it
Let's crochet a fluffy baby elephant together. I got all the yarn I needed for this project from my favorite craft store, Michael's. To crochet this elephant, I'm using Feels Like Bliss yarn, which has the perfect fluffy texture. Now let's start crocheting. First we'll start crocheting the elephant's legs, and then we'll continue crocheting the body. Next it's time to add some stuffing, and finally you're finishing up the body and closing up the plushie. Here's my finished elephant. Comment below what I should make next with this yarn.
Let's crochet a bow garland. I'm using an H hook and worsted weight yarn. To start, make a slip knot. Then, for the base of the I-cord, chain 3. In the second chain from the hook, we are going to insert, yarn over, and pull through. Leave 2 loops on, insert in the next one, yarn over, pull through, and you should have 3 loops. This part can get tricky, but you're going to pull out of the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through in the second loop, and then yarn over and pull through in the third loop. Repeat that for about 50 rows. Once the cord is the length you would like it to be, either make a single bow with it, or to attach it to the other, insert one end through a loop and then tie a bow that way. And that's your bow garland.
I have a problem. I have way too much of this yarn. It's bad. I went through a phase where I thought this yarn from the Dollar Tree was the best thing ever, and I bought a lot of it. And now I'm on a mission to use all of this up.
It's pretty safe to say I am not allowed to buy yarn at the Dollar Tree anymore. Somebody please take my credit card away. Anyways, welcome back to another episode of Crafting and Not Stashing, the series where I am actually using my craft supplies instead of letting them sit in a drawer. I've been on this mini kick lately to use up this yarn, and today I wanted to make a super cute little flower pillow, although it turned into a flower plushie because I did not realize that my yarn was a lot thinner than this pattern called for. This pattern is by Wonder Crochet, and I'll tag them down below. And if you have any ideas or pattern recommendations for things that I can make to use up this yarn, please let me know. But after working on this for a while on a live stream, I was able to finish it and attach all of the petals, and after finishing the middle, here is what we ended up with. We've got one side that can just be a plain flower, or flip it over for a super cute face. I decided to embroider a mouth and add some safety eyes. It's so squishy and so soft, and it came out so cute.
When I walked in the club, everything changed when I walked in the club. He was looking at me like, wow, you were on my body, I drip and I drown. So he says, I heard you're a singer, I live in a penthouse, it's on the east side. I can tell what he implied, I don't trust my decisions I make after midnight. That's like, gatekeep, call this new bitch mainstream. Toxic, hypnotic, wanna drive him crazy like he did me, cause he did me wrong. All this behavior I'm projecting.
Let's make a cute crochet bow. Make it as long as you want. Little tutorial her. Here you go, have fun.
Last part of me crocheting a giant caterpillar. And she was getting so big that I actually needed to sit on a stool to be able to finish that last segment. And yes, I was using my feet to rotate this huge thing. I decided not to add legs to this last segment to make it different from all the other ones. I wanted it to be the caterpillar's tail. At this point, I only had a few grams left of this color and I needed to receive my premier yarn's order to finish it. In the meantime, I stuffed it as much as I could and I got so excited seeing how big she would be. 2 days later, I finally received my yarn order and was ready to close this tail up. I really thought that I would only have to work on it for 1 more hour or so, but I ended up making the tail too big and I decided to frog it all the way back down to where I started that new yarn ball. All in all, I probably lost 2 hours making the tail twice, but there was no way that I wouldn't finish it the same day because my daughter was expecting me to be done when she would come back from the daycare that day. And this technique that I found while we were making the tail was just the best. Instead of rotating the caterpillar, I would walk around her. And now are you ready, guys? This was one happy little girl. Please leave all your questions in the comments below and I'll make a Q&A video in a few days. And let me know if you want to see more giant projects like this. Thanks for watching.
Really quick, I wanted to show you what I made, so don't go nowhere. Wait right there. I decided I wanted to make my own type of creation, my own type of doll, my own style. And this is what I came up with. This is my moss princess. She is a whimsical fairy princess. Her name is Mossina and she is a baddie. Look at the eyes, look at the face. She got the resting bitch face, like don't fuck with me. And then look at how beautiful these eyelashes are. Tell me these are not so cute and make the look. She has a nose ring on, which is my absolute favorite part of her. And then she has mushroom horns. She has the daisies that sit across her hair. And then we have pearl jewelry. We have the pearl necklace, which is adorable. And then we have the pearl accents all along her dress, which also follow to the back of the dress, my favorite. And then she's wearing a cute mushroom purse with some cute boots. But let's not miss the small detail, but also huge detail. The beautiful rose earrings. Like if this doesn't scream whimsical princess, I don't know what else will. Yeah. She's on my website if you want her. I'm going to be coming up with a bunch of new like themed items. So let me know what you want to see. It will not be no more lookalikes, maybe. We'll see. But if you want her, she's on my website and she is absolutely cute. See ya.
Hey you guys, let's crochet some scrunchies together. Starting off with my small size scrunchie in one color, first I'm going to do a slip knot. Then I'm going to grab my hair tie and I'm going to hold the tail of the yarn against the hair tie and work 40 to 50 single crochet all the way around. So I'm going to insert my hook, grab onto that working yarn and pull up, yarn over and pull through. Again, I'm going to insert my hook, grab onto that working yarn and pull up, yarn over and pull through. And I'm going to continue this all the way around until I have enough stitches. For me, like I said, it's about 40 to 50, but you can do however many you like depending on the yarn that what you're using and how tight you want the ruffles. Once I'm finished with all my stitches, I'm going to close the row with a slip stitch by inserting my hook into that first single crochet we made. Then I'm going to yarn over, pull through, and pull through again. Next, to start the ruffles, I'm going to pull the tail from the first row to the front of the project so that I can crochet over it. But if this is too difficult for you, you can just weave it in at the end. Then I'm going to be working 3 triple crochet into each single crochet. So I'm going to chain 3, yarn over twice, insert my hook into that first space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through. Once I've crocheted a good amount over the tail, I'm going to go ahead and cut that, and then I'm going to continue all the way around with 3 triple crochet into each stitch. So now that I'm at the end of the row, I'm going to close it with a slip stitch into that third chain that we did at the beginning, making sure both loops are on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through, and pull through again. Then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to cut the yarn, pull it through, and tighten. And now I'm just going to go ahead and weave the tail into the stitches. So once I go around and fix all the ruffles, I'm all finished. Now let's move on to how I do a small scrunchie with a different color trim. All of the steps are going to be the same up until I start the ruffles, and this time instead of doing triple crochet, I'm going to be doing 3 double crochet into each stitch. Once I'm at the end of the row, I'm going to insert my hook into that second chain we did at the beginning of the row, and making sure both loops are on my hook, I'm going to grab my new color and loop it around and then pull it through both loops. Then I'm just going to tighten the previous color, and I'm going to pull the tails of the yarn to the front of the project so I can crochet over them. And since I'm going to be doing single crochet all the way around, I'm only going to chain 1. Then I'm going to go ahead and insert 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. And for this part, you want to make sure that your tension is not too tight. In fact, you want it to be pretty loose, because if the single crochets are too tight, then the ruffles are going to curl up and they won't look right. Now that I'm at the end of the row, I'm going to close it off just like before. I'm going to do a slip stitch into that first chain from the beginning, chain 1, cut the yarn, pull it through, tighten it, and weave in the ends. So that's how I make my small scrunchies with a different color trim. That's pretty much the basics of how to make scrunchies, and you can play around with how many stitches you want to insert and what different stitches you want to use to change up the size of the ruffles and the stripes. Let me know if you guys have any questions down below, and be sure to check out my YouTube for the full in-depth beginner-friendly tutorial. Bye!
If you've been making amigurumi and you're wondering why your plushies maybe don't look like everyone else's, this may or may not help you. So basically, I didn't know why my plushies weren't turning out how I wanted them to. So, through trial and error and realizing that maybe I needed a little help, I took to the internet and figured out I was completely doing my stitches wrong. A single crochet, you may think, is just like, oh, I'm gonna go in, pull up a loop, pull through 2 loops, and that's a single crochet, right? However, it does matter how you're pulling your yarn through that first loop. Basically, when you're doing amigurumi, you want to make sure your yarn is going under your hook first and then over your hook. You don't want to do it as if you were making just like any crochet item where you would, sorry, it's hard to do now, yarn over your hook and then yarn over your hook again. This is made with yarn over, and he's a little wonky. And then this is made with yarn under, yarn over, and you can see the stitches are uniform. They're a little bit thicker. The color changes are a little bit cleaner. So you can see there's holes there. And there's just a difference in the stitches. Same thing with Pikachu. He is completely yarn over. The stitches are super flat. The color changes are a little, rough. So I'll show you again. Go through. Yarn under your hook. Yarn over your hook. Go through. Yarn under your hook and yarn over your hook. And you're gonna get a difference automatically of like the thickness, how they lay, everything like that. And so, don't be like me and don't waste a bunch of time, energy, money on yarn. And I mean, you can play around with it. You can do yarn over, yarn under, see how that looks. Play with your plushies until they're looking the way you want. He doesn't look the way I want, but he does. And that's what really matters at the end of the day, right? So yeah, if you want more of a series of things that you shouldn't do that I've done, then I will be making videos on how to help get you going on making some cute plushies.